Mode.
Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here this beautiful Tuesday, October 6th. Definitely look forward to a LaunchPad webinar. It seems that today, for some reason, we have a bit of a low attendance, so we'll make it short and quick. I'm pretty sure everybody's busy, and as soon as September, October comes, we get back into gear in our daily business. But anyhow, definitely have some really good, interesting articles and news to share with you that are very important, and we'll just begin. I have with me Amalia, and who'll be also a part of the webinar today. Amalia?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. And yeah, I guess we'll begin.
Excellent. So let's begin, and we'll start right away. Our typical um, agenda, latest news and articles, questions, and we do have some announcements towards the end, just to kind of bring you up a few updates in regards to ALM and what we're working on, also in the series of webinars. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Perfect. So the first piece of news that we have today is in regards to a recent, probably about 3 or 4 days ago. As you know, or you may have known, SMX, which is one of the world's probably most popular and reputable SEO conferences, or just search engine conferences. There was one that happens in SMX East and SMX West. The SMX East typically happens in the New York, Philadelphia area, and SMX West is around Washington State, Seattle. I think last year was in Seattle. We've had a couple of ICs that attended. Anyhow, anytime there's an SMX update, or there's an SMX conference, there's always new things that come about. In this case, Gary Ilias from Google actually was part of one of the panelists in one of the conferences that they had, or seminars, and pretty much what he confirmed is that the real-time penguin algorithm is coming soon. Now, and he's hoping this actually happens by the end of the year. And from what we had discussed a few months ago, was that ideally this algorithm will be done in real time. So it'll be a real time version of the algorithm. We pretty much talked about it. I think it was like around May or June that we discussed this. And he actually confirmed that definitely this algorithm will take place ideally before the end of the year. And it's something that it is a hint, a big hint from Google. Whenever anything comes out of Google's team, definitely we have to pay close attention. And if they're looking at a timeline of the end of the year, it just means that we have to kind of have a very clean strategy in regards to link building. So again, this is very important because I believe the last one that was done was last year or early last year, and this version of Penguin will be real time. That means that what's going to happen is that if, for example, any sites get caught with negative bank linking strategies, or black hat SEO strategies from a link building perspective, uh, you know they will definitely be penalized right away. Now, if the webmaster pretty much tries to clean or remove or disavow these links, the Penguin algorithm will process it in real time, and you should be able to recover from a Penguin penalty pretty quickly. The last time there was a major Penguin update, it really took companies sometimes 45 days, 60 days, and in some cases up 90 plus days. And in the extreme cases, they weren't able to recover because they had all this black cat link building strategies tied into it. So again, just keep an eye on it. The good thing is that if any of your prospects are going to be suffering from this, we can try to help them as much as possible by removing these negative backlinks or disavowing them. So there's a process specific that we undertake at ALM to make sure that any of the prospects that you may be encountering that have experienced this, we can assist them. In regards to existing clients as well, keep an eye on any type of link building strategies that you're doing. with them. As a matter of fact, if you have any type of a link health check tool that you can run them by, that's also important. If you have any questions about it and you kind of want us to take a look at any suspicious type of a website that you may be working on or that you may be acquiring as a client, just let us know. It's better to detect that right now. I mean, we pretty much right now are using Moss's Open Site Explorer tool, and they have a pretty good link building tool checker. We also use other tools, but this is primarily the one that I like to personally use. I know that our SEO team uses others, but you know what? If you have any doubts or a question, just reach out to Malia, Michelle, or myself, and definitely we can help you. However, be on the lookout. And if it does come up in a conversation with your clients or a question about, the next time a major algorithm update is going to happen, well, here you have it. We're looking at probably November, December, where there'll be a real-time Penguin algorithm update. Now, just to kind of go back and talk a little bit and remind everybody about what the Penguin update was about. If you recall, this was actually launched back in 2012, and the whole goal of this update by Google, from their perspective, was to better cache sites deemed to be spamming its search results, specifically those sites that were buying links or obtaining them through link networks designed primarily to boost Google rankings. So any type of link building, buying, or obtaining them through link networks, negative. It's a no-no. So surprisingly enough, we still get these types of prospects from ICs that have engaged in buying links or attending them through link networks. So if you are going to be bringing on a new client, make sure that you're double checking a little bit, in your due diligence. Take the extra 5 minutes to find out, if they have done the SEO in the past, and if they've done any SEO in the past, what type of SEO, if they have done any link building, what type of link building strategies they were using. So that's very important. I've actually added here, and if you give me a quick second, I'm going to pause my screen for a second, but I want to actually share with you this pretty good URL that definitely shares some of the things in regards to the updates and okay, it's kind of big, but okay, there we go. And it's good for you to keep abreast of what's going on if you are a new IC, or you forgot what Penguin's all about. Definitely, you're able to read this article and be already knowledgeable in advance to any questions that you may be approached by your clients. So again, just want to share that with you as well. The next one is also very relevant to this news, and I will have Amalia talk a little bit about what's going on with Google and their Panda rollout.
Yes, so as Armando mentioned, Google Panda 4.2 is still on the way of rolling out. Google has confirmed that the Panda 4.2 update that started rolling out about 2.5 months ago is still in process. They're still in the process of rolling everything out. One of the Google representatives stated early last week that the Panda algorithm, Panda 4.2, that began rolling out around, I would say, July 18th, is still in the works. Google stated that they did expect the 4.2 to roll out very slowly over several months. It has been less than 3 months since it started rolling out, so they expect it to take a few more months to finalize everything. We do have Google on the record, well, they have it on the record, confirming that as of early last week, Panda 4.2 update is still indeed rolling out. Gary Eels, from a Google representative, also added that you can expect it to continue to roll out for some time, as Google originally announced. So that's the news update on that. Armando, did you want to add to that?
Yes, yes. Very quickly, just to remind everybody the difference between Panda and Penguin. While Penguin's Google update or algorithm update attacked, or not attacked, but penalized those sites that were using spammy link building strategies, as I mentioned in the previous slide, Panda was a bit different. It was more on thin content or duplicate content, or content that was not deemed relevant to a website. So if you recall this, this is something that Panda that's why Panda came in the beginning, and now we're in the the 4.2 update. So if you have any questions in regards to what's the difference between Panda and what's the difference between Penguin, again, Panda's first release, if I recall, was back in February 2011, and it was really the goal was aimed to lower the rank of low quality sites or thin sites and return higher quality sites near the top of the search engine results. So some of these sites perhaps had been able to rank high due to the way they were spamming, or they were actually optimizing it, or spammy optimization. So even though they had very thin content, meaning not quality relevant content on their sites, they were still they were still ranking high. So Google kind of slapped them in the hand and said, you know what, we're only going to have we're going to change our ranking algorithm and ranking factors related to relevant, rich content, and that's not thin in relevance or thin in the amount of content. So again, it's one of those things that you may want to check out. I'm going to put quickly here. I'm just going to a good wiki um, article that kind of talks a little bit about the rollout. So if you just give me a quick second, I'm going to put that through you as well. And it's good again that you have this in your arsenal of knowledge, defining what Google is all about. Now, remember, we're at 4.2, and this was released in 2011. So every year, it seems that Google has been able to roll out at least one Panda update. In this latest Panda update, as Amalia has shared, it's not a real-time update. This is not a real-time update. As a result, it's taking a long time to really scour through the whole internet and really re-index it, if you will. And it means that that some sites can still get penalized, right? Because maybe they haven't been recrawled by Google, or by at least this specific algorithm update. So again, very important to keep in mind that Panda is also still rolling out. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. Excellent. I think I do have a question, and the question is, can you please? Okay, what is the Panda update? Okay, so yeah, so as I mentioned, regarding to the questions regards to the Panda update. So the Panda update is really now penalizing sites with very thin content, so very little content, or content that's not relevant. In some cases, content that is where you're using 80% of your content is duplicate. So it's not relevant, and you can see these type of sites if they have multiple locations across different states or different counties or different cities, where the webmaster, all they have done is mainly perhaps use the same exact content for a specific service multiple times, just changing the location name within the content, or what's another way, or just adding an initial paragraph and an ending paragraph, and they're the same content, so that it's pretty much the same across the board. So just be on the lookout for that. If you are reviewing any of your prospect sites, just make sure that they're not penalized. So anyhow, that's the Panda, and again, we're in a 4.2 version, so this is something that Google's trying to actively do on a long-term basis every year to clean up the internet. Another interesting, and this is just a little bit of a quirky news, if you will. Uh, as you may have, as you already know, and we discussed it many times, and I've been very have my own personal opinion in regards to the Google authorship markup, which I think personally is still of some value, even though Google doesn't want to come out and tell us that because of the fact that many people abused it. So there was actually, again, at SMX East, Gary from Google said today that webmasters and publishers should leave the authorship markup on their page. Very interesting. Now, this comes after the fact that they kind of pretty much, quote unquote, killed it off over a year ago. If you recall, first of all, it was a big buzz about having Google authorship markup on your content, on your blogs, etc. And as a matter of point, at one point in time, as a matter of fact, sorry, at one point in time, you were able to add an image of the author. Obviously, this was a great idea in principle, but people, obviously, users, webmasters, and everybody started taking advantage of the situation and abuse the system. As a result, Google decided to kill it. So a year and a half after this, Google Google's representative Gary Elias from Google said today that you should leave it on, even though it was removed back in August 2014 and dropped in June 2014. He's saying that don't be surprised if in the future we may use it again. So his main recommendation is leave it on. If you already have it in your source code, in your website source code, just leave it on. Now that brings up a lot of questions, or at least these are the key questions that we can come up with, where we can say, does Google use a form of authorship and author rank for determining when to show in-depth articles in the search results? In-depth articles are pretty much those pages in a website that are very long, in long article or long content pages where there's a lot of content, relevant, rich content. And one of the questions that was asked by the panel is, does Google use some sort of authorship or author rank to determine what to show? And is this the reason Gary told people not to remove the authorship markup? Anyhow, that'll be more to come. I thought this was very interesting. If your site or if your client site already has the Google authorship markup, leave it on. Right? There's no penalization for having it on, because you know what? Things change, and Google changes its mind all the time as well. So wouldn't be a bad idea if you remove it. If it's not there, I know it's part of our adaptive SEO packages, and sometimes we do still try to add it to the websites. I would just recommend that you follow up with your production team and tell them, look, just make sure that the Google Authorship markup is on the page. I know that some ICs always request to leave it off, so it's really optional. But if you have it on, why do not take it off, as per Gary's recommendation here. Okay, more to come as we find out more. Amalia, I think you had some updates in regards to Bing's Ads Editor and some of their updates that they're doing from their side.
That Yeah, that's right. So Big Ads Editor gets an update with more horsepower, which is going to be great. It's faster processing speed for accounts of all sizes, promised with the BAE version 10.9. Big Ads Editor version 10.9 is now available, processing more speed and less memory drain, which is great. Rundown of what to expect speed-wise. Basically, big accounts in particular, think anywhere in the range of 2 million keywords and 1 million ads, should notice the acceleration. Bing Ads says that displaying large accounts is more than twice as fast and downloading large accounts is 30% faster. Across accounts of all sizes, switching between built-in views is twice as fast, and finding the replacing ad is up to 4 times faster in version 10.9 compared to the previous versions, according to a blog post that was just put up about late last week. Switching between tabs should also be smoother. In terms of memory consumption, 10.9 should take up 70% less memory than the older version. WAP ads, wireless application protocol ads, the first generation of mobile ads are no longer supported in 10.9, so do keep aware of that. Product ads, product ad extensions, and product targets are also no longer supported now that Bing Ads has adopted the shopping campaign format. The shopping campaign support, however, is still not available. You'll still have to continue managing those campaigns in the UI. But those with Bing Ads Editor already installed will get an alert to update within the next few weeks. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Armando, did you want to add to that as well, or?
Yeah, you know what? In regards to the Bing Ads Editor, these are some of the things that are making it more user friendly for advertisers. My recommendation is if you have some challenges and you want some advice on how to fix or how to navigate through these changes, just feel free to connect with us. We'll be more than gladly to help. Again, we kind of keep recommending to ICs that do not neglect Bing or Yahoo networks. Obviously, Google should be your primary, Google AdWords should be your primary paid search strategy. However, there are some scenarios where you may want to have a combination of Google and Bing. So that's the only thing I can mention. But if you have any challenges with the way this is structured and need some clarification, if you're running it on your own and need some help, I'm pretty sure our team will be more than glad to lend a hand. Thank you, Amalia.
Thank you.
One of the things that I wanted to share with you was in regards to video ads, and it's a topic that's been we've shared many times in our webinar. We definitely believe that this is a great way of interacting with well, your client can interact with users, visitors, prospects, etc. And it's something also that is changing the SEO. Actually, not even just the SEO, but the digital marketing landscape. And I found a very interesting article from Pauline Jacober, who basically talks a little bit about the importance of video ads and things that have been changing even in the search engine results pages, right? The SERPs, the search engine results pages, where more and more we're starting to see video ads or at least the results of YouTube commercials or indexed videos being displayed on the search engine results, so which is it would definitely offers a lot of opportunities for our clients. So one of the things that also has been talked about is the fact that Google has not properly or perhaps has not optimized their or fully monetized from a revenue perspective the use of video ads. But anyhow, this article focuses a lot on the advantages in or the pros or benefits that you can take from having your ads being published on YouTube. So what you for everybody that's on the call today, just TrueView ads or Google's TrueView ads are pretty much YouTube ads, right? Those ads or commercials that you see, and they were actually being blamed, and I believe we talked a little bit about it last week or 2 weeks ago in regards that one of the reasons Google is making less money per ad is because TrueView ads you can actually skip. So every time you're looking at a YouTube ad, if you're able to skip it, I think it's in the first 15 seconds or 30 seconds. I think there's a setting that you can actually do. But if you're actually not watching the full ad and you skip it from the beginning, that commercial, you don't, if it's your commercial that you're showing, there's no cost per click, right? Or cost per view, if you will. The cost per view comes if the video is shown in its entirety. So anyhow, because of it, there was a popularity of the video ads rising amongst users. So more and more people are doing this, which is an opportunity. But the clicks were at the low cost, and that was hindering Google's ability to monetize them well, right? Because people continue to skip till this day. I mean, I'm one of the ones that, yeah, I'll probably wait 5 seconds if it's not relevant to what I'm looking for. I can't wait till the little skip ad notification shows up in the top right hand corner of the ad so I can skip it. Sorry, not top, but the bottom right hand corner. So Google, obviously, they want to be able to monetize. I mean, ad revenues is very important to them. So they're looking at ways of better monetizing video ads after all. And now they're looking at happening in its search results. So I'll talk a little bit about that. But the other thing is also, again, whenever you're doing a strategy and you want to test out a new way, don't forget about the Bing Yahoo network. Bing, for example, they're not far behind. The advertising network actually recently started testing video ads in the search results, and that's significant, right? I believe we kind of shared some screenshots a few weeks back where Bing it's now testing video ads and now showing them as part of the search and result pages, right? So Bing was building off the success of its rich ads for search feature, where some advertisers can have seen improved click-through rates at times on site as a result of incorporating video into ads. So again, this is something that's been going back and forth, where Google was also testing video ads for the normal search network, right? So one of the things that is very interesting about this specific article is the fact that Google knows that video works, and obviously as a result, they're going to be pushing it. And if they're pushing it, it means that there is an opportunity for your clients to also advertise via video. And in the past, we've kind of shared some of the most cost-effective ways of creating video. Now, Google has been studying the impact of video for a long time now, and as a matter of fact, back in April, they shared that 65% of YouTube TrueView campaigns, so YouTube video ads, paid video ads, if you will, drove a significant lift of an average of 13% in brand interest. Now, again, at this level, YouTube is only confirming, or Google actually is only confirming that it created a brand interest. It didn't necessarily lead into conversions, right, as a key performance indicator or as a goal, but I'm pretty sure it does have an impact in the whole equation of path to conversion, path to purchase. So experimenting with video in the universal search results on the organic side of things for years, and according to a 2015 study from Searchmetrics, video shows up 14% of the time in search results. Of that, 82% of videos are from YouTube. Now, these are normal videos. These are not video ads. These are the videos that we, even at ALM, optimize for your clients via the different programs or campaigns that we're running, such as the adaptive SEO campaigns or customized campaigns, where our team is constantly recommending to the ICs to get their clients to get involved in video optimization and creating videos as a part of a rich media, right, rich content videos. So if you look at it already, based on this 2015 study, 14% of the time in the search results, you most likely see one or two videos from YouTube. The same study showed Google Shopping results showed up 40% of that time. So again, Google Shopping, more targeted towards shopping, is also showing these ads. So this could prime advertisers for killer product videos in shopping results. In fact, some brands that have tested TrueView for shopping are touting an increase in revenue. So there is an opportunity there if your client is very active in Google Shopping, not just to focus on the standard or the, let's say, the standard ways of advertising, but look at ways of optimizing it through video advertising. As a matter of fact, in September, Google announced True Video campaigns will now be part of the core AdWords interface. So they're moving towards 1 inch closer to fully monetizing video ads or True View campaigns. And in this way, in this specific example, by you now having access to TrueView campaigns or video ad campaigns in your standard Google AdWords interface, you have the capability of being able to create and manage video ad campaigns within Google AdWords easier. So basically, Google is making it easier for advertisers to manage these TrueView ads. In the past, it was a totally different interface, but as of September, Google actually announced that TrueView campaigns will now be part of the core AdWords interface. So again, it's a move from Google and YouTube, sorry, to move into a better way of monetizing video ads. So again, the reason I wanted to share this article with you is, one, the importance of video advertising as a form of engaging your existing customers, new customers out there. So a new way of actually targeting them. And number two, also a new opportunity for you as an IC to provide, differentiate yourselves in the market and be able to provide these services as well to your clients. So thinking outside the box, sometimes, we get stuck just doing the same type of standard, I don't want to say traditional, but just standard digital marketing services. Well, here's one where you can actually test out with your clients, right? And that's video advertising. And as you can see, Google's trying to definitely make a difference there. Excellent. The next thing that I wanted to share with you is in regards to uh, very easy to make mistakes that are happening today with webmasters, with SEOs, with your clients who think they're webmasters, who have probably read one or two books on SEO, attended a few conferences, and now they think they're, SEO experts. So here's a great article that I found, that we found, the team found, that talks about 5 mistakes SEOs still make with links and content. Uh, you know, uh, one of the key things that I really liked about this these article was it highlights 5 key things that, believe it or not, we are able to provide support in our adaptive SEO packages. So it kind of puts WSI ahead of the competition. Not just ALM, because there's other production teams that are doing adaptive SEO. There's actually ICs that are doing a version of adaptive SEO, but it just kind of confirms that the way we're adaptive SEO is deployed on sites is ideal. So one of the key things is building all links on the homepage. So this is mistake number one, and you've probably seen it. A few weeks back, actually no, last week, as a matter of fact, I was reviewing a website from one of the ICs in California, where they wanted to create a multi-locational website or strategy for their clients. And the first thing that you see on the homepage is a bunch of links, right? And in the past, in the beginning of SEO, if you will, back in 2001, back in 2000, or back in the late 90s, there was a lot of internal linking, and it was recommended that you have a very strong internal linking strategy to complement your keyword strategy. So as a result of that, many of your clients who have done a little bit of SEO, or who have experienced SEO, or who have worked with a different company to do SEOs, they're not really well up to date or well educated, because they still think that, you know what, I want to have all my links in my homepage. And that's just a bad strategy, because you go to a website where there's, you know, 20 internal links, and it just doesn't make any sense. As a matter of fact, we'll probably say that fewer quality links is better, right? So a good strategy is to link deep into your site and use all those lovely internal pages you took time to craft, meaning your SEO pages, to actually put strong links in there. Now, you don't want to, again, you don't want to add too many links on any one page. But the mistake number one is actually building all links on the whole page, and either they're linking towards internal pages or external pages. So spreading the key thing here is that you want to spread your link equity across your site rather than concentrating on your homepage. It just makes more sense, because it gives your website an overall SEO authority, right? You don't just want to focus on homepage domain authority, homepage authority. You want to focus on all of those SEO pages that you've crafted, that those get actually the same results. So instead of users landing on your homepage and having to fight to find the content they're looking for, right? If you are able to do a proper SEO strategy on your landing pages or your SEO pages, for example, and you have the appropriate internal link strategy, then it feels more natural, because your users will be able to find them, because these pages are going to get indexed and ranked. So, and if it's good content, it definitely will build more trust, right? So again, building on links on the homepage, it's not the best way of doing things. You definitely want to have some key link building on your homepage, but you know what? Focus on one or two keywords maximum, right? Don't focus on 10 keywords on your homepage and have 10 internal links added there. As a matter of fact, the author of this article goes and advises that linking deep helps you build the overall SEO value for your site too. The more high value pages you have, the more opportunities you have to achieve search engine visibility. Okay, so again, when you're doing any type of link building strategy, or that you are doing any internal link building strategy, make sure that you don't put your eggs in one basket. You want to spread the wealth and have other SEO pages or other pages in your site be equally optimized as well. Okay, so again, I know that the IC community knows this, but sometimes we have to educate our clients. So if you have a client, I mean, this is one of the things that you can share with them from a educational slash sales perspective, right? So that's mistake number one. Mistake number two, stopping link building after hitting the first page. I just had a question, probably I think it was Friday, it was last Friday, where we've been working with a client now for over a year, and we were doing an adaptive SEO strategy in the home services industry, and they've had some great results. And the client was asking the IC if we could place a pause on the SEO campaign. And one of the key things that he primarily wanted to take a pause was on the actual link building strategy. And you know, equally, you can say the planets aligning, I kind of bump into this article that talks about the fact that just because you're number one on the page, that you've hit number one on the page for a specific keyword, it doesn't mean that you have to stop your SEO strategies, or let alone just your link building strategies, right? You want to continue that doing that, because SEO efforts don't last forever. Within a matter of weeks, you're going to need to change something. Why? A, because Google likes freshness, right? Number one. And number two, your users like freshness as well, right? You want refresh content, refresh strategies on your site. So you want to make sure that you don't really stop, the aspect of link building. Okay. The other thing that you have to take into consideration is that SEO is constantly changing, and it's your job to keep it up with it, right? To keep up with it, sorry. So you want to make sure that, your link building strategy alone does not rely on directories. You want to do a combination of different things, right? It could be anything from industry directories, local citations, social bookmarking, video optimization and video distribution, link earning strategies, which is very crucial, specifically if you're working with bigger accounts that have a bigger budget. You may want to, there's one service that we're now very actively providing to the IC community and their clients for bigger accounts, where you have a link earning strategies. And this is where you're kind of, you actually have a manual person, a person actually trying to help you earn a link with, some pretty sizable websites like .edu, .org. So again, just because you're number one, you don't want to stop doing it, right? So from Google's point of view, if your client says, yeah, but you know what is the value of link building? Well, from Google's point of view, if your site's not doing anything, right, and stops doing anything again, it's like, okay, what's happening here, right? The algorithms, and when Google bots, when they crawl on your site, and specifically their goal is to make sure that you're being active, both from a content perspective but also from a link building perspective. It's actually a plus to be involved in a healthy link building strategy, and I repeat, healthy, because you want to engage yourself in very good link building, very very white hat link building strategies, unlike what we mentioned at the top of the webinar, where people were engaging in buying links, and also being part of all these link referral networks, right? So here's all about keeping active with your link building strategy. So if Google doesn't see any action on your website from a link building strategy, it assumes you've either had a quick hit of a link building campaign or a viral blog post, and you finally run out of steam, right? So again, you know, you have to be active. So keep building links. Don't stop being hot and alive and interested in the eyes of Google, or you'll run out of traffic and clients quickly, right? Because you're not fueling the engine, right? So link building, it's part of that fuel. And this is something that there's been amongst SEOs. There's been different schools of thought in regards to link building, and I think that the best school of thought is to having a proactive, very healthy link building strategy to help your clients. Okay, so if one of your clients comes back to you and says, "Well, can I stop my SEO?" I wouldn't do that. If you have to, because of financial reasons, what we recommend is perhaps downgrading their program to a what we call a maintenance SEO package. And the maintenance SEO package is just to help you maintain your rankings, right? Versus a very aggressive campaign where you're going out there trying to improve your rankings, right? So again, mistake number two, do stopping link building after hitting the first page, because you know what, your competitor is going to work twice as hard, or your competition is going to work twice as hard to rank above you. So they're going to go out there and guns a blazing, and if you're not prepared, you're going to be left behind as your rankings begin to drop. Number three, not using blogging as a strategy. So again, part of our adaptive SEO strategy, if you're doing any SEO today and you're looking at doing SEO today for one of your clients or a prospect, you want to make sure that they have a blogging module on their website so you can actually blog. Okay. Till today, we still get a request from ICs that we're reviewing sites where there's no blog module. And again, the reason you want to have a blog module is because you want to have a blog you want to have blogging as a strategy, right? You want to have the blog module to serve as a repository of information. That's where you're going to be pretty much hosting all of your blog posts, articles, anything that has to do with your content marketing strategy. That's where you're going to organize it, and that's where you're going to optimize it as well. So blogging is key, and the best thing to do is to have the blog be part of the URL, right? If the blog has its own URL or it's not part of the URL structure, it doesn't serve your site any SEO purpose. So that's one thing. That's the technical side of it. But just kind of getting into the aspect of blogging, in this case, is really all about content marketing. It is definitely one of the highest value strategies you can use. And believe it or not, even today, clients, whether they're small, medium, or large, they still don't see the value of blogging, right? They still don't see the value of having continuous fresh content, right? Because they just think, you know what, nobody's going to read it, nobody's going to find it. And the reason people they may have that misconception is because their blogs are not optimized, they're not structured for a specific with a specific strategy in mind, right? So therefore, they don't give results. So one of the examples that the author talks about here is, if your client tells you, well, blogging doesn't work, well, look at it this way. How often is the content on your site updated? If you look at it and be realistic, apart from news, you can say that not often. And some clients don't even have monthly news, let alone weekly or daily news updated on their site. So if these things are not happening, then that means that the content on your site is not updated. So, you can't really, the author kind of explains that you can't really go on to continuously update your about me or about us or your services page more often than couple times a year because you have some updates to your products or services, so you may update those, right? So that means that if you're not doing any content strategy or you're not blogging in this case, that means that your site's just sitting there dormant, and Google doesn't like inactive sites. If you have a blog, you're adding another page to your site at least once a month, if not once a week or once a day. But the whole thing is that you have activity going on your site. Therefore, blogging is key. If you got more pages, the other added value to this is that if you got more pages in your index, there are more pages to rank with that you can work your SEO magic on for a little extra traffic. So not only does blogging tell Google's robots or Google's bots that your site's being kept fresh, it's being kept updated, it's active, it also gives you the opportunity to put more hooks out there and try to drive in traffic through these pages. As a matter of fact, you know what? You can even give this example of HubSpot. Did you know that 70% of their traffic comes from all blog posts? That is content they didn't create that month, and that's content that was created previous month. 70% of the traffic comes from older blog posts. That's a lot of visitors that they're receiving from work they completed before. And I want to add to that. Back in at our digital summit in Toronto, we had a representative from HubSpot that actually talked about the importance of content marketing strategy. And can you believe that they actually have a team? And this is obviously for a pretty large organization, but they're so keen on blogging as part of their whole lead nurturing and inbound marketing strategy that they have a team of people, right, a group of content writers that take a look at their pages uh, that have been published, let's say 1 or 2 years ago, or 6 months ago, or even like I said, 2 years ago, and they actually make changes to those pages. They repurpose that content in order to give it a bit of a facelift. So they actually freshen up the content. They add updates. They update that content because they see the value of their blogging strategy. Okay, so again, blogging is key. If your client's not blogging, they just want to rely on link building as a form of SEO, no, will not work. So that is why it's very important that when you are working with your production team, that you actually take the time to put the efforts towards actually developing a very sound content marketing strategy. You take time to have some really good topics in your content calendars. I know it's a pain in the butt to get a content calendar completed. I mean, the wish list is 12 months. You may even get only 3 months. In some cases, you're kind of going month to month. But the key thing, is that mistake, if you don't have, the right content, uh, 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 the right content calendar, everything gets delayed in your website. It's not going to have any new blog posts for that specific month. And it kind of goes into number 4, ignoring content relevance. So if the content you're creating to rank isn't relevant to visitors or readers, they're going to see right through you and they won't trust you. And the moment they won't trust you, they'll bounce out of your site. So this is talking about content relevance, which is tied to the previous mistake. And one of the key things that the author emphasizes is that it's not just about your readers and your visitors bouncing off. It's also given a bad taste in to search engines because they're not dumb. The same way that people want relevant content, trustworthy content, so do search engines. And all these algorithms have been created in a way to, as much as possible, give your site rankings as well, or as a ranking factor being relevance. And we talked about it earlier in regards to the Panda updates, right? When you're looking at thin content, not relevant content that's not relevant. So if you're just writing for the purpose of just write for the sake of just creating SEO content, that's not good anymore. You want to have a strategy behind it. You want to have relevant content, updated content for your users as well as for the search engines to review and index and rank, right? So here are some of the key things that the author talks about what makes content relevant. You may want to write these down because I think that this is very important. Number 1, if it's the topic of the site you're writing for, so it's relevant, right? If it's, for example, a home services site that's focusing on on plumbing or electric electrical engineering or anything of that sort, you want to make sure that the topics that you're writing are relevant, right? It adds value to the end reader. So at the end of the day, the content that you're writing, it has to provide knowledge. It has to provide info. It can't just be thin advice, meaning that it's something that's already people know, right? You want to kind of give added value, right? Where the reader, sorry, is learning something new. It engages with your content, right? So that's very important. So when you're kind of thinking of ideas with your client about content calendar for the next 3 months, think about these things. What are the things that their business, what do they do that adds value, and how can we transfer that through the content strategy, right? Because it's people like free stuff anyways, right? So people like receiving value. So you want to make sure that you provide that in your content, right? If it's any and all keywords you're using, right? So it's very important that at the end of the day, even though you may have a topic based on the keyword, it's not just focused on that keyword, right? You want to make sure that you have your secondary, third, or even fourth keyword phrase that you want to optimize for there. You're not over optimizing it, but you know what? If you're peppering in your on-page optimization, it's also important. Doesn't mean that you're writing 5 times your secondary, third, or fourth keyword. I mean, the ideal practice from our SEO perspective is to make sure that your pages are one keyword focused, and you can always add other keywords to your content, but make sure that your content can be molded to any keyword. Okay, so you don't want to kind of swing the pendulum and go the other way where you just focus on writing content based on keywords alone, right? It has to be relevance. It makes sense for any backlinks to point to it, and it contributes to the overall quality of the site. Okay, so again, two things that you have to make sure that get addressed, that whatever backlinks that you're going to be pointing back to, that it is relevant. So relevant content is important. Okay. Getting a few questions here, so definitely um, I will try. I will try to answer these towards the end. So I know these are very important questions, so I will answer them towards the end. Um, we're almost there. And then number five, this is one that I just learned. You see, always learning new things, and talks about the brand anchor text, right? It's just a terminology, and I'm pretty sure that you've seen it before. It's just that you probably haven't used it or you don't know the name of it, like I did, right? So they talk about the fact that anchor text is very important. As long as it's natural, so the more natural, the better, right? In the eyes of Google, you don't want to be again, spamming pages with anchor text. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about natural anchor text. But there's one that they call the branded anchor text. And this is the one type of anchor text that sometimes, you know what, we always overlook. And what is that anchor text? Well, that is a link on the text that are your brand name, your URL. So for example, by linking to Apple's homepage with the text, if you see here, Apple Inc., uh, we just created a branded anchor text link, right? So if let's say I'm writing in an article on the iPhone, how good the iPhone is and how you can go buy it at the Apple Store, and I kind of I, brand that as the Apple Store and add the link there as the Apple Store and link it back to the Apple Store. It's a branded anchor text. Now that type of a branded anchor text may not necessarily provide your site with a lot of SEO I don't what can I say, like a lot of SEO value. However, the ones that he's talking about that are very important is where SEOs will write a guest post or some content and leave their brand name unlinked. And he calls it a sin because that's a perfect opportunity to boost your search rankings. So when your name, brand, or URL come up naturally in content, take the opportunity to link it. So where can you use this? One of the ways I always say is PR, right? If you are doing a PR strategy, you want to make sure that, if, for example, if you're doing it for a specific company, that company's name is in the PR. If you can actually get a backlink, use that backlink on the name of the company within the body of the PR piece, right? If you're writing a guest post, again, make sure that you're earning that link, right? Like you're actually putting your name in your URL, and it's fine. Guest blogging is not a bad thing as long as you're doing it tactfully with in relevant sites, right? Now if you're just guest blogging for the sake of guest blogging in all these uh, uh, shady and gray type of guest blogging sites, you don't want that. But if you're genuinely writing a guest post on a website because of the fact that you're seen as a subject matter expert and you're writing content on it, make sure that at the end of that guest post, you leave your name or your name brand and you link it back to your site, right? So this can also work for your clients, right? Let's say your client is a vitamin store or a vitamin supplements company, and you're guest blogging on a magazine, an online magazine, that in their health section, and you're talking about supplements for omega oils, for example, and you're asked to guest post. As long as you write relevant content about what you're talking about, and you can link it back to your site through an branded anchor text, it's also a great opportunity to earn a good link, right? So again, it's a good way of being able to get some very good positive links back to your site. So again, it's one of those things that sometimes we forget. We may even internally in your blog, your blog, make sure that at the end of the blog you sign off, with the company's URL. And even though you are kind of doing it within the same website, it's always good to have it there. Okay, you don't have to overdo it, but towards the end, as you're ending your blog and you're putting a call to action, it's not a bad thing to actually use a brand anchor text within your site as well, right? So something to keep an eye on. But most importantly is if you're writing a guest post or some content outside of your website, you want to make sure you have your branding name linked, okay, and be able to kind of earn that link the right way. Okay, perfect. Just a few questions, and I'm going to try to answer these very quickly. And I apologize. This one. Okay, so give me a quick second. I believe this is from Alan, and uh, okay. You know, the question here is in regards to a user that may be looking and searching things for let's say a product or service online, and once you're looking for this product or service, you get a blog. So your first search result is a blog, and you click on that link, and once you find out that it's a blog, you may be discouraged to continue writing, continue reading it, or proceed to take action because it's a blog. There's a lack, there's a lack of trust. Therefore, you may not use it. So you know what? I think that this is something that uh, can be seen from other users, where because of the fact that many companies have overused the power of blogging, and maybe using spammy blogging techniques, users may get discouraged. However, I just want to kind of reiterate too that that's why Google's algorithms are always active, because they want to penalize those companies that are not using white hat SEO strategies. So my recommendation is that that is one point of view, meaning that if when the user finds in the search results a blog, a link to a blog, they may be discouraged to click on it, or they may be discouraged to fully read the blog once they get there, because of the fact that they don't trust it, because they think that's spammy. That's one way of looking at it. I think that if you have very good relevant content and rich content, definitely you're adding value, right? So there may be that type of user. I don't have the answer in regards to you know how many of these type of blogs, negative blog posts that Google catches. But you know what? It's a food for thought, right? I don't think there's a right or wrong answer right now. I think my opinion is that based on what we've seen with our SEO strategies, blogging is very key, right? Blogging is very important, and once you stop blogging, and again, it has to be relevant content, so that's very important. So that's what I kind of wanted to share in regards to that. Amalia, I think that, and you know what, we may have some additional thoughts on that, Alan. So we'll definitely reach out to you. But yeah, thank you for your feedback. Okay. Amalia, I think you want to talk a little bit about, just to finalize quickly, about our video. People have been asking for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Actually, there's been quite a bit of demand for our video blueprint that we did actually launch when we're at the global convention. So a lot of interest has been shown. So just a quick reminder, the cost for the video is $199, and basically that includes the whole video, obviously, and you could customize the last frame of the video with your logo and contact information. So definitely please reach out to myself or Michelle or Armando, and we'd be more than happy to help you out here if you're interested. Okay,
Thank you.
Armando?
Yeah. Thank you, Amalia. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of
Great.
you've been getting a lot of feedback in regards to the digital marketing blueprint video. The cost is 199, and it's pretty affordable to Then the reason
Yep,
we're doing this is because we have to change the last slide, branded with your IC contact info. Believe it or not, it does take time. This was a video that was professionally done, so it's we want to make sure that we can actually deliver that to you as well. You can optimize it. You can use it for your presentations. There's so much customization that we can do, but at the same time, you know what, it depends on the budgets too. Some ICs were asking us, can you change the from 4 minutes to 2 minutes? Well, what's going to come back out of this is that we're going to be working on a series of short videos addressing each aspect of the search and the lead generation machine. So anyhow, thank you very much for joining us today, everyone. I'll definitely get back to you um, um, with answers to your questions. Best of luck the rest of the week. Join us next week. And from Michelle and Amalia and myself, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Don't forget to rate us in K2. And we will definitely have a guest speaker very shortly. We're kind of lining them up. We had a bit of a scheduling issue with one of them last week, but we'll definitely be lining them up so you can speak with them and basically share more information. Again, have yourself a great week. Take care. Thank you for joining us.